First kick, I snap into action. When I'm First kick, I snap into action. When I'm digging in the trenches, get dominated off the line of scrimmage. Read and react quick to make it early diagnosis. Hit you with the quick release like Marino Danny dopeness. Explosive change of direction in the true essence of Reggie Bush. From JT and ZT to DVP and AVG. Terminator to a quarterback, Hunter JP. Steve Ross, the boss, King Flow, and card slinging, gambling genius, Slick Chris Greer.
Yeah. Hey, here's your nice new intro. Thank you, Justin, for making that video.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Good morning to all of you guys. Thank you for tuning in with us today on Dolphins Daily. Get your coffee cup ready full of Joe, and let's get up and go.
Hey, perfect. So is that a Paul Warfield or a Loud Blackwood jersey there?
It's Paul Warfield. This is one of my favorite jerseys I like right here. I love the armbands on this damn thing, man.
It looks really nice.
Oh yeah, it's
wondering when I saw that 42. Those are both players that come to mind. I watched Loud Blackwood play back in the day. Paul Warfield predates me just a little bit, but Loud Blackwood and Glenn Blackwood I watched all the time. So I had to ask, but no, it's a beautiful looking jersey.
Oh yeah, man, it's nice. It's one of my favorite that I like to wear. Like I'll usually wear like some throwback stuff during the week, and gets closer to game day, I'll start, throwing on one of the current jerseys we have or something.
Hey, it looks great. So
hell yeah, man. Thanks. I appreciate you.
So now that we've had a couple of days to let it settle in, are we a little more, I saw you a little more positive on Twitter saying, well, we're just going to have the game plan and we'd be okay without Armstead. So I see yours, like, I guess you're in that mindset now that we know where we stand with him, that he's going to miss some time.
Yeah, I'm kind of like just chopping it up for what it really was. Like a lot of the guys that are on there that I follow too are kind of like they're realists, and like my buddy Tito, shout out Tito. He's kind of made a comment like, hey man, we all knew he had injury history coming in, so we all knew this was going to happen. This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. And the more I kind of read his comments, thought about it, and everybody else's too, I was like, you know what, they're right, man. We just got to chalk it up for what it is and move on. We've gotten this far off of what we've done coaching wise and everything up to this point. So I think we could scheme it up to make it work out.
I agree. I mean, the Niners, they're going to have some, it looks like, I don't know about their main back team, McCaffrey, they're saying he's a little banged up, but their other guys hurt. So,
Oh yeah. I was actually just going to talk, we're going to talk about that here. With the moves that have been coming up and that have been happening lately. I mean, the 49ers made an array of moves. The Dolphins have made an array of moves as well. The 49ers actually did put Elijah Mitchell was on the IR. He was previously on the IR, came off the IR, played for them, got re-hurt. Now he's going back on the IR. So that's one of their main running backs besides Christian McCaffrey. That's going to hurt them a little bit, because now they're not going to have that dude to fall back on to, hand the ball off when Christian's not in there. So that hurts them. And then corresponding moves to that, they did a lot of stuff, man. They went and signed Janoris Jenkins. You probably heard of Janoris Jenkins, the cornerback, to their practice squad.
Right, yeah.
And in doing that, they actually cut a guy. I would go grab him right now, and his name's Kanar Holman. He's a cornerback from Toledo, I think. Don't quote me on that. But he's a cornerback we could gain intelligence and intel from if we poached. And you don't even have to poach him. He's on the street. So all you need to do is cut someone on your practice squad that maybe is just kind of hanging around, barely hanging on to their spot, and go put this guy on your spot, maybe gain some intelligence. I think that would be a move you could maybe see happening, looking forward to. Other than that, we talked yesterday about the offensive line position with the current injury to Teron Armstead. I brought up two names, which is Kendall Lamb and Rashard Hill. The Dolphins signed Kendall Lamb to the practice squad.
I saw that. I thought
right after our show.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I knew it was going to happen. And like sometimes you just got to connect the tea leaves. I really didn't do too much of anything there. It doesn't take skills to connect the tea leaves and see that we just had them in for a tryout. They're obviously interested, so they might pull the trigger.
Yeah, and they did. So that's cool. And like I said, so this time of year, all teams are going to be banged up. It's just, it hurt when it was Armstead because we're almost as dependent on him as we are with Tua.
Yeah, we are.
We are. he really holds that line together for whatever reason. He helps everyone else. It's amazing that when you saw the difference when he went out. But I'm over it. I'm ready to go on forward. Just like the team is. It is, but it just stinks that we're going up against Bosa this week, one of the best pass rushers in the whole NFL, and we're going to do it without our best tackle. I just want to keep Tua upright, and we should be okay. Our defense should be able to slow their offense down some, and it should be a pretty. I'm thinking it's going to be more of a low-scoring game this week than it's been in the past for the Dolphins. We've been able to put up 30. The past few weeks, but I don't know if we're going to hit the 30 mark this week. We'll see.
Right. I seen somebody out there, my buddy Kevin, Colorado, Stan 13. He started pushing around this hashtag top right Tua, like keep Tua up, top right Tua, hashtag top right Tua. He's like, this needs to be trending. I was like, that's kind of cool. Hell yeah, let's keep him on his feet. Like, I definitely. Fins up. What's up, Steve?
Welcome to the house, Steve.
Steve is in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, man, like, we'll see what happens, like, there's numerous different ways they can go with this thing, and there's options out there. The Dolphins have a belief that Teron Armstead will be ready to return in a matter of 1 to 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah,
does that mean he's going to play versus the 49ers? Probably not. And you know what? You'll probably see them sometime this week. I'm thinking anytime now, they'll rule him out of the game for this coming up week.
Yeah, I think pretty much for sure this week he's gone, because they said Barry Jackson said it's like 2 to 3 weeks from what he's so we was so hopefully it's all good. Are you still there? I think I'm losing my internet of all time. Okay, there.
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here, man.
I just saw I got a weak Wi-Fi message. Sorry guys if we're
it'll happen.
I think it's back better now. But anyway,
right.
Yeah, it's just so. I think the game plan moving forward for at least a couple weeks is probably without him. But you never know, like you say. I mean, he could tough it out. He's toughed that toe out all year long, and he's played with that toe. But this was part of what when we signed him. We knew that was part of the deal, that he had a history of going out. So you just got to
definitely.
Because when he's in there, he's one of the best there is. So and it's great.
Oh yeah, man.
But anyway, we have to move on. And I was going to ask you, so who's your favorite Dolphins quarterback? Doesn't necessarily mean of all time best, but like who's your favorite quarterback to ever play for the Dolphins? Is it the newer guy, Tua? Is it Marino? That's just a lot of people's, or do you even go back farther than that with Griese or someone else that might surprise me?
Oh, man, my favorite quarterback all time for the Dolphins, and favorite quarterback all time, period, is Dan Marino. And it'll never change. It's my childhood hero.
Yeah.
He has a partial tear. I'll be honest, man. The dude is great, man. Like, I love Dan Marino. Was the best pure passer ever to play the game, in my opinion. I've never seen anybody better up to this point. Maybe, like, you could say Peyton Manning is better because he has the rings. But, man, I love Dan Marino. That's my favorite player of all time right
for
there.
Sure. I mean, it's hard to not go with Marino. And I go back. By time I remember like the last couple of years of Bob Griese, but that's it. So what I remember is like David Woodley and Woodstock, and I liked them back when they were wearing the aqua and orange. But then of course I was spoiled with Dan Marino. So how can Dan Marino not be your favorite Dolphins quarterback for my generation of people? But I know these young ones. That's why I'm hoping that my kids, several years when this is an old discussion, that Tua will be their favorite quarterback. That he's like the next one up. And that we haven't had crap since then. Tannehill had a couple okay years. Jay Fiedler came in, was okay. But we haven't really had much of any hope at the quarterback position for so long. And, we had the 1 year guy, Chad Pennington, that basically gave us one good year, but he was beat down by that point. And, it's just like we just haven't had any consistent talk. So, I mean, I think that's why I think most fans will, of course, say Marino. And Steve was around for the Bob Griese days.
Hell yeah, Dan the man.
Yeah, he's still giving Dan the man the vote. So that's why I think most Dolphins fans would say Dan's the guy. You would almost have to rule him out in this question anyway, because you're going to get all Dan. You have to say, besides Dan Marino, who's your favorite?
Yeah, you'd have to rule him out in this.
Yeah, you would have to rule him out. But hey, it's awesome. But anyway, I was privileged to see Marino all his games. Attended most of his home games in person. Got to see all the other ones on TV. So I was just like, that's where my level. That's when I have to realize I got to bring my level of quarterback expectation down, because that's why I was so hard on Jay Fiedler. Oh, he stinks, and when you look at it, he was okay. He was an addict, but he just followed up Dan Marino too soon after Marino. So
just hearing you say that about Marino, you're like, yeah, I've watched most of his home games, if not all of them, live here. Like, you don't even know what that did to me. I'm like, oh, I'm so gel. Like, just to see that dude throw the ball live must have been like, wow.
Oh, no, it was awesome.
Wow.
I still love it to this day. And that's why I say I know I'm a little hard on some quarterbacks, because I have that vision of him playing. It's just
my God, man. That dude was an absolute animal.
Yeah.
Griese was a great game manager. He sure in the hell was. He could throw the ball a little bit too, man. Like,
no, he could. Yeah.
Yep. Thank everybody that's watching right now. You were tuned in live with Dolphins Daily with Dolphins Thirsty and me, myself, JPF Scout, digging in the trenches. Thank you guys all for joining in. Don't forget to smash that like button and then subscribe. Thank you much. If you're looking for great Dolphins content also, don't forget to go check out dolphinsthirsty.com with great articles over there. Always up to date on all his Aqua and Orange news. Great follow. Thank you guys. Appreciate you much. Right, but we'll keep things moving along,
Yeah, exactly. So before we turn the page to this coming week, I want to turn back real quick. So this past week, were you a little concerned with the lack of running game because we all thought, oh, Houston has one of the worst ranked running defenses. Or do you think it was more of a matter of the Dolphins just took what they gave us? They took away the running game by putting everyone up there, and we just took those passes. Or are you concerned?
Well, I'm a little bit concerned. But at the same point in time, I think maybe that theory of maybe the Dolphins just took what they gave them, it probably has a little bit of validity to it. I think it's valid. I think that they did take what they gave them. They were like, hey, man, no one can stop us over top. Let's keep going to the well until they dried it up, and they ended up winning the game off of that. I think a lot of the push up front was just kind of inconsistent at times during the game. Malik Collins shouldn't be getting the best of Robert Hunt and shouldn't be getting the best of Connor Williams. We needed to shut that down right away. And sometimes you might need to actually put someone up there to help block. Like, I've yet to see us put in a running back, a fullback into a jumbo and like literally line him up like a yard or two behind the offensive line to get ready for that pressure up the middle. Like, there's ways to negate that kind of pressure. And there's ways to run off that kind of pressure and move. And I think you'll see that later as we get going here. Like, if we need to run the ball, we're going to have to, bottom line.
Yeah, I know. Because our buddy Steve in here, that's always his biggest complaint. We were winning 30-0, and Steve like texting me and stuff like, oh, there's no running game. I'm like, hey, we're winning 30-0. But he was still already worrying about the running game. But it's understandable, because moving forward, we all said, that's why against Cleveland, it was so nice to see the running game established.
Yeah.
And, then we think, oh, we're going to be like that every week from now on. And then this week we reverted back to basically getting our 3 yards of carry.
Yeah, but one more thing we need to take out of that game that we played is we played it without our 1-2 punch of Raheem Mostert and Wilson. Actually, Evan, when Armstead was having a little trouble, he was even when Armstead was in there, he was having a little trouble. It was non-existent still. They bucked up the Texans line, bucked up and wanted to play against our O-line. They reset the line of scrimmage numerous times versus our offensive line. Now, our defensive line did the same thing to their O-line.
On defense, you can't complain.
We handled business.
They handled their business. It was good to see Chubb get into the action because he's been close almost every week since he's been here, just like Phillips has been close. But he actually knocked that ball out. He got a sack and knocked the ball out of Allen's hands. That was great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Hey, Fins Up Network was in the house here for a minute.
Good morning. Hell yeah, FTSN.
Yes, another great network to make sure you go over and follow. They're awesome.
Absolutely, dude. They got an array.
Yeah, they got an array of shows. I couldn't even sit here and tell you all their lineup of great Miami Dolphins.
Loaded.
But tonight, for sure, starting at 7:30, you would want to join into that network. Of course, I'm a little biased. I'm a host on one of those shows. But anyway, it's a great network. Make sure you follow them. And then then the Bandwagon Show follows our
it's great.
Sports Talk. Steve, I just messed up like Steve. The Real Talk Fins Talk So
Talk
and
Spin
that
Style.
our
Yep.
show at 7:30, and then the bandwagon show at 8. It's a great network to be on tonight if you love the aqua and orange.
Absolutely, dude. They'll have up-to-minute updates, a lot of predictions, a lot of news, a lot of theories, a lot of football talk going on over there too.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, like I said, do you have anything left on last week you want to talk about before you start doing some of the things you're ready to talk about today?
Do you know what? I was thinking about it, slipping my mind a little bit, but somebody had a good, like you like to do those game stickers.
Right.
Someone had a really good game last week on the defensive side of the football, man. It's slipping my mind. I want to talk about him a little bit. Oh, that's
yeah,
who it was. Eric Rowe.
Eric
Rowe had himself one hell of a game last week, and my buddy Brian, he'll be over at my house this weekend. We're all going to get together and watch the 49ers game. My buddy Brian and my buddy Kevin. He's always on Eric Rowe, like, man, I don't like Eric Rowe. And I'm like, well, his contract's due up at the end of the year anyway. But I like Eric Rowe. I think he does a good job. He came up on that big play, had a big forced fumble. Xavier Howard picked it up, ran it in.
That's
and
why
he's been
gave him a helmet sticker.
He gets a helmet sticker.
Yeah,
boom, approved.
Yeah, that was his stick, and basically put the cap on the game. And the rest of the game after that was kind of downhill for us because
it was. But his play is picked up a little bit better over the last couple of weeks.
He's been great.
He stepped in for Brandon Jones, and I honestly think we thought the defense was going to change really a lot. But it really hasn't changed that much more because Eric Rowe has stepped in there and filled Brandon Jones's shoes pretty well. So I'm feeling pretty good about where we're at with that spot right there.
No, I agree, because when Brandon Jones went down, I was saying on our show, I thought it was going to be, brutal,
catastrophic.
But Rowe had stepped up, and you haven't. That's what we need, someone now at left tackle to step up. I'm not saying you have to be at the same level. You're not going to have a guy at the same level as Armstead. That goes for any team in the NFL that loses an all-pro caliber player. But you do need a guy that can at least be a professional and do his job. That's why, to me, Brandon Shell on the right just makes – I don't know how they're going to line it up, because Brandon Shell, at least on the right, he's sufficient. He's good. He may not be in the all-pro category, but he's good. And then you just got to find someone on the left that can just be good, because I don't think Brandon Shell on the left is good.
I think they're going to end up rolling something like, I bet you Greg Little just rolls right out there and starts. I bet you they'll end up doing that.
Think. But can he just be adequate? That's what we need. I just want someone that's adequate. I'm not asking. You're not going to get a guy that's armed. There's no team in the NFL that would lose an all-pro tackle and then replace him with another.
Yeah, but you can scheme it up if you're really careful about it. You can scheme it up on every snap so Bosa doesn't hurt you. You have Little out there, but on every snap, you put in motion, or just even set him right there from the beginning of the snap with his hand in the dirt, Durham Smythe. And then if you need a little bit more help, then you move over the running back or Ingold in motion or to that side, and you chip him as well. So now you've got three guys over there to block one guy. It should work out.
I know. I mean, that's where you do miss the classic tight end, blocking tight end, old school. But, we just don't have that really on our roster. So you got to make do with what we have. So hopefully your scheme, your plan, hopefully they scheme it like that. And I'm sure McDaniel will have it up and rolling.
Well, I just don't want to see them roll 88 over there and put his hand in the ground next to Greg Little and expect you to get anything out of it. I don't want Mike Gesicki blocking on the front side of any damn play, and that's just how I feel about it. If you want to put him on the back side of a play, that's fine.
I think they've learned that. I don't think they will use Gesicki in that role. They know at this point there's nothing they can do to get him rolling. That's not his thing. This week, it was another week. If he was an AWOL, he could have been watching the game on our couch with us.
Bro, we got one target.
I know. It's just like, it's crazy. It's like,
they need to run that get up the seam, dude, and use him as a chain mover and a red zone target. And if you're gonna, run him up the seam, just run him up the seam, dude. I guarantee you somebody goes with him.
Yeah, no, you have to, because you take someone, but it is what it is. We know, like I say, just a short-lived Gesicki at this point. There's no way he's going to be a Dolphin next year.
I don't see it happening, bro. I really don't.
Just money-wise, not even talking about ability-wise, just money-wise, it's just not going to fit. And we got other money that we need to take off. So that's just going to be an easy off-the-books money thing.
Yep. So for anybody that doesn't know about Kendall Lamb, I'll give you a little bit of background on him.
Okay, cool.
He has 86 career games played, and 28 of them have started. He is a pretty good athlete. He can move side to side a little bit. He's a bit of a waist bender, though, so he can get caught reaching in the cookie jar. He's 6'5", so it's hard for him not to be a waist bender. He's got some power to his game. He's not as good of a run blocker as he is a pass blocker. So his pass protection is really good. It's solid, but he's got real good side to side movement. And in our system that we use for the running game, you necessarily don't have to be this big mauler anyway. We really just need you to get half of a block. If you can just block half of the man and like get him, you know what I mean? Just like to move him or get him aside just for a split second. So Mostert or Wilson can find that crease. That's all we need. No, I think if we need to use Kendall, eventually he'll be ready to go here in about 1 to 2 weeks. I don't think he'll be ready to go right off the bat. It's not a guy you can just plug in and play. He doesn't have the system nor the scheme down like that yet.
Yeah. But you had called him out, like I said, that he was going to be an easy guy to sign once they had brought him in. So.
That would be the dude. That was my first target after I seen him try out. It's crazy because over the bye week, I was like, well, what are we going to do? Are we going to try out some kickers? Are we going to try out this or that? And they tried out these tackles. And I was like,
And Armstead goes and gets hurt. It was just, I know. It just, at least
I think the Dolphins kind of felt the bottom, like the bottom going to fall out and the wheels were going to fall off of T-Steady is what I think. And they were like, bro, he's already battling a toe injury.
Yeah.
You know, what's going to happen next? Let's at least get some insurance like on the back burner in case something happens. And I think that's exactly what happened. I think they went out there and like after the game, they were like, oh man, he's got a grade 2 pectoral strain. They didn't expect that to happen, but when it did, they were like, well, let's get back up on the phone and call Kendall or Richard back up. And that's what they did. But to play with that grade 2, the strain right there, man, dude, I don't know how that's going to work out. Like it's hard just to lift up your arms or even to go like this when you have a strain in your pec, you guys. Yeah. It's like it's not something that you could easily just play through.
I know. That's what I said. It's so hard. We keep on trying to get off Armstead, and we're right back to him.
It's the most important part of our team.
Because you feel like, oh, we're kicking their butt, and then you hear a quick mention on the TV broad because you don't say, oh, that Armstead's out, and you're like, oh my! It's just like put a damper on the whole big butt kicking we were watching.
Right.
It's just like, like, it is what it is. I don't want to keep on hitting the Armstead thing because I know we're kind of beating the dead horse here, but it's just so hard to get off of because it was such a. It's just a bad injury for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? Maybe the team will bless us and surprise us. And like all of us are a little worried. Maybe the team will really step up and play some of its best football we've seen them play yet. They're going into a hostile environment. Maybe, oh man, you know what? I looked at some splits last night on Tua. Oh my God, dude, this guy is just lighting it up, dude.
I know,
like his splits are unbelievable, and he actually plays better on the road. His QBR is actually rated a lot higher. I noticed that as the game gets going into the first, the second, the third, fourth quarter, he's just better and better and better and better. You got his months that were going out there, dude. It's just better and better. From September, it was really good, over 100. Then you got into his October. Oh my God, it was even better and better and better.
It's just a Tua that we all wanted, and
now we're getting it and seeing. That's what I'm trying to hit on. And this next point that I'm trying to make is maybe he'll go out there and he'll kick his game up into that next level because he knows that his team needs him because now T-Steady ain't out. Now he knows his reads need to be that much crisper. The communication he has to call out all his IDs, all his protection slides. He has to see everything after he snaps the ball, make all the right decisions. Let's just hope that QBR goes from November it's like at 124.9. Let's hope that thing goes up to like 131 or something like that. And he gets even better and better.
I don't know. That would really be great. I'm just happy with the Tua we're seeing. He's,
me too.
Made football in Miami fun again. I mean, he really has.
Sure has.
Because, it's just fun seeing him out there making those throws and hitting Tyreek Hill and Waddle. It's just, it's going to take a lot to replace the old Marino to Duper and Clayton in my eyes, since that's the generation I grew up on. But it's getting close. It's fun. It's fun because, in the back past few years, like when a quarterback for the Dolphins dropped back, you're like, oh, please, please, please. Now you're like, oh, he must see something the minute, because on TV you don't get to see who until the camera's fans who he's throwing to. But you're almost like confident. Oh, Tua must see someone because he's just stepped up so confident and threw the ball. And it's been a beautiful thing to witness him grow.
It's awesome, man. Like, it's crazy how much of we kind of like just air it out, man. We have a little air raid offense sometimes when we want to throw it deep. We can throw it deep. We have weaponry. Like the film never lies to you. See, and that's what I like about breaking down film is it's like a murder case. It'll leave you these clues that don't lie to you. There is no deceiving you. There is no trying to lead you down a different path. There's just facts. And that's what film is. It won't lie to you. When it shows you this guy's getting beat consistently, like Austin Jackson, he's getting clubbed over, ran around, ran through. That's a telltale sign that you're like, dude, we have a problem here. And like the film won't lie. It'll tell you things that you need to see. So when it shows you those things, just believe your eyes.
Yep. No, I agree. So it's like I say, though, it's been true to the eyes. He passes the eye test, so to speak.
Oh, man.
He's been great. And I know this week, he goes against Jimmy G. But, the next week, it's going to be a nasty week on Dolphins Twitter as they get ready to take on Herbert and the Chargers. That's like the greatest debate in history. But I don't care. It's more about the 49ers. But I'm just saying, oh, my God, everyone's going to make it Tua versus Herbert the following week. So
yeah, it will be that. You know what? As far as I'm concerned, that stuff's going to be linked to Tua and the Miami Dolphins for the rest of his career.
Oh, of course.
It'll be linked to him. They'll go they'll be linked to each other because of that fact. But if you really look at it, man, that draft class, it's got someone mentioned this on Twitter and I gave it a like and retweeted it probably because I agree with it, is that that's got to be one of the best draft classes since the 1983 quarterback draft class.
It's been
Joe Burrow, Tua, Herbert. If Love can come out, if Jordan Love can come out of there and be anything, hell, man, you'd have something right there.
Yeah. No, it's crazy, man. It's just, you just never know. We'll see how this coming. This past year, it wasn't that much of a hoopla, but this year there's supposed to be some good quarterbacks coming out. But it's a new generation because some of these good quarterbacks are getting a little age on them, like Aaron Rodgers and Brady. So it's the next year. Obviously, we got Patrick Mahomes that's already up there in there.
Right. As we get going forward here too, as we already all know, the injuries are starting to become abound league-wide. Everybody's getting hurt. You're having to adjust your rosters. I don't know if you noticed this, Rob, but even Green Bay Packers starting quarterback Aaron Rodgers just got hurt and has a fractured rib injury. That's serious. That's the stuff that'll take your quarterback and put him on the bench.
Yeah.
And that's what changes teams right there. So as we get going down the stretch right here, pay attention to these injuries along the offensive line and definitely always the quarterbacks.
No, of course.
It'll change everything.
I know. I mean, that's why it's not the end of the world because every team's gone through injuries. We have ours, and as Dolphin fans, we like complaining about our guys injured. But yeah, I know a lot of teams have the injuries, and they just no excuses at this point.
No.
A few years ago, Eagles lost Wentz, but they replaced them, and Foles went on to win the Super Bowl. So
that's right.
You can't, and of course, the famous perfect season of the Dolphins. Like when I was a baby,
right.
They went, they lost Griese and Earl Merrill won a lot of games for the Dolphins until Griese came back in the playoffs. So it's just, good teams just find a way to win, whether they lose star players along the way or not.
Yep.
But, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year, you can only name 3 players you don't want the Dolphins to get hurt. They probably all would have been on offense. I mean, I would have said a whole bunch if I could name 3. But
they all would have been on offense for me.
And we talk over the bench there. He's like
Armstead, Tua, Tyreek Hill.
Yep, those are the 3 I would have said, and Armstead's out. So let's just knock on wood for the other ones.
Let's keep everyone healthy.
Those are the 3 I said. Those are the 3 that we couldn't afford to lose.
Well, those are the 3 most important right there.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Like I said, it's been such a joy this year. It's
been awesome,
Dolphins
bro.
Like I said, they're fun to watch again. And speaking of fun to watch again, if you could give us a like and tackle that subscribe button. We're growing, and once we get to 100 subscribers, we're going to have a giveaway. We'll figure out what it is because we're just growing on we're relatively new here. Dolphins Thirsty. Myself is Rob. That's Justin. He's a great follow on Twitter. We're lifelong Dolphin fans, but we're both kind of new to this whole, internet, trying to show our fandom but yet bring you good content at the same time.
Absolutely.
So, love all you Dolphin fans. Thumbs up. You guys are
love
awesome
you guys.
being in here. Comment so we know you're here. And, like I say, join your YouTube if you have a YouTube. If you comment that you did, that'd be awesome. And follow us on Twitter. I'm Dolphin Thirsty, no S in Dolphins on Twitter. I'm Dolphin Thirsty on Twitter. And he's, as you can see on the screen there, JPF Scout on Twitter. He's a great follow. If you ever need Miami Dolphins gear, he's the guy to see.
Absolutely.
So anyway, back to what everyone's here for the football talk. So
yeah,
like I said, so we already talked about last week. So we just talked about a little into the future without looking too far into the future. So what's your realistic expectations of the next 3 road games? 2 on the West Coast and 1 back, up in Buffalo. What's your realistic, taking your Dolphin fans color? You're just a guy that likes football. And what's your realistic take that the Dolphins should come out of those?
All right. If I was to take off my Homer shirt and my Dolphins hat and just be realistically come out of that with 1 win. If you could come out of that with 1 win. Because it's just going to be rough. 49ers, then we got the Chargers, then we're going to go play Buffalo in Buffalo. Yeah. We'll be lucky to come out of that with 1 victory. Yeah. I know before everything happened and stuff, I was really riding high.
Oh, I know you're bandwagon like me. We were saying 3, maybe 2.
I thought we'd go out there and win all 3 of them.
You did. You were saying that up until Armstead kind of woke you up a little bit. You were up there saying we're going to win all 3. Yeah. But I would think, obviously, you would like the Buffalo one for divisional purposes. I think the most realistic one to circle on the calendar is probably beating the Chargers.
Yes.
And, that's probably the most realistic one. Yep. But I think we can beat the 49ers. It just depends. It's going to be more of a defensive battle. And, maybe I'm overdoing the Armstead. Again, I'm saying his name. But, maybe I'm overdoing that, and it won't be as big as it's just, it's kind of a gut punch.
And I talked about it before we got on air here this morning with my buddy Alan Zombie Finn, and we were talking about, hey, as Armstead goes down, what does that kind of do to us? And I talked about how they could scheme it up to have a tight end over there, or roll the coverages, or move the pocket. And he's like, well, doesn't that take away from how explosive our offense can be? And I was like, yeah, man, it does. It changes the dynamics of everything. And he mentioned it could be one of those games where it could be just real grimy, real tough, a grinded out kind of a game, to where we're not throwing the ball down the field as much, and maybe not even running the football as much, but more of a passing underneath, more intermediate passes.
No, I agree. Like maybe mixing us all year when we bring them.
So if we were able to eke out a win, it would be like an ugly win per se. But as you've seen, Mac McDaniels had the press conference, and he's like, hard way or a way, we just find a way. And we like it the hard way. Apparently they do, so they just got to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I know Shanahan has a reputation of beating all of his pupils. His pupil beat him in the playoff game when it mattered the most, so it can be done. You can beat him. But McDaniel's going to know him as well as he knows. It goes both ways. It's just really who plays better. Like in every game, every week, it's like who plays better that game, and who has the healthier bodies, who's ready to go. Because if they don't roll with CM, then that changes their whole dynamic on offense too. So
we have some other stuff we could talk about as well. The Dolphins made a flurry of moves yesterday to go along with the Kendall Lamb move. They also cut Grant Hermans off the practice squad in that corresponding move, because Grant Hermans obviously is not as good as Lamb. So they're like, Lamb, why don't you just take his spot? You got the experience. I like the move. I think it was smart. Then also in another move, they actually cut and released Calvin Jackson off the practice squad and reinstated veteran wide receiver, return specialist Freddie Swain, who's a veteran. So I like that move as well. He was hurt, and then I obviously got back and is now reinstated back with the practice squad. That would basically be the news of the day for the Dolphins. You already heard about the 49ers corresponding moves with Elijah Mitchell going down.
Right.
And they signed Janoris Jenkins to the practice squad. And then they cut the Kadar Holloman. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. And I would actually poach the Holloman, or you don't even have to poach him. Just sign him to the practice squad so you can gain the intel. There's a lot of stuff going on out there. Flurry of moves happened right away. The Dolphins happened to jump on that real quick by doing all the research with their scouting department and the GM. They did a great job right there. They signed themselves some insurance to go with what we got already.
I know, like you say, what did Jeff Ireland used to say? Hey, finding acorns. Always, they're trying to find acorn. But why did I bring up that name, Jeff Ireland?
I was like, no.
I know, punch myself. I was so happy. I'll never forget the day when they fired Jeff Ireland. Not that it's been great since, maybe finally now it is. But I was driving and they came across 560 WQAM here in South Florida, and they said, "Oh, Jeff Ireland's been relieved of his duty." I'm like, "Yes!" I was off my voice screen because I just never cared for him. I just, yes, he did find some people just like any GM, but it's just was never. It was just I was so happy he was gone. Let's just say that way,
right?
And it's just because I didn't like the whole way he snuck out. I mean, he was put in a bad position too, but
it's true.
It's just I'm just to say I'm happy he's not there. Now, Chris Grier has to step up and prove. And like I say, if we win a playoff game, I would give – that's when everyone – because people are saying, oh, I'm tearing up my – it's all good. Grier is good now. But I'm a little hard. I want one playoff win. One, that's all. Not even a Super Bowl trophy yet. But before I'm giving Grier, because I see a lot of, Grier should be GM of the year. Let's win a playoff game. I know that doesn't factor in because they mainly look at the regular season. But I want a playoff win before I start annoying him like – great GM.
Yeah,
I'm just hard that way. It's been too long. I've told you 1,000 times on here. My oldest son's 20 years old. He just turned 20 in November here, and he hasn't been on Earth when the Dolphins won a playoff game. I mean, that's crazy.
That's nuts.
You just think you would have backed into one playoff win at some point. We're going to think of Miami Dolphins when I was younger, when I was what my son's age are now. What their age are now. When I was their age, the Dolphins always made the playoffs. It's just like now it was
just a thing for you. You're like, I know we're going to be in the playoffs, so I won't even.
I know, no, it's just almost guaranteed you're going to be in the playoffs. You just didn't know if you were going to be, And a lot of time it was as the division winner for the Dolphins.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I know a lot of people are hard on Chris Grier, and everyone's like, "Damn it, man, we could draft better. We could have had this. We could have had that." Like that's a hard position, you guys. You're not going to hit on every damn pitch.
Oh no, you're not
out there. And like I know everyone's hard on him, but we got to give him a little bit of kudos. He's made some moves. I mean, of course, the Tyreek Hill one's a no-brainer. I would have made that one in my sleep.
Yeah.
But he's trying to do what's right for the football team. So I mean, they're making the adequate moves to make me happy. Could they have made these moves a little bit sooner? Yes. Yeah, that's maybe, the only beef I think I have about them and the coaching staff.
Because the first 2 years they didn't give Tua much to play with.
Like I think they need to stop being so reactive and start being more proactive. And what I mean by that is like have a contingency plan with another contingency plan and then maybe even two more behind that. You see what I'm saying? So you got to have that.
Try. It's just hard though. It's tough.
It's tough. It's tough. They're doing a great job. I mean, I'm not gonna sway and say he's a piece of crap. He's doing his job.
He's doing his job, and like I say, Tua's going to be the make or break, and it's looking like he's going to make them. Because that draft, the 2020 draft, we had 3, and that was supposed to be the changing franchise. It looks like Tua's now living up to that part. But Jackson and Igbo, both from that draft, it's just like, they're not. That's just. But if you hit Tua, I don't care. If you find your franchise quarterback is a winning draft for the rest of the
That's what I was just going to ask you. I was going to ask you the same thing. Out of those 3 draft picks, if we won just even one Super Bowl and it was Tua the winning quarterback,
it's worth it.
And Austin Jackson's a bust and Noah Igbenogany's a bust, but Tua's a hit, in my opinion, I think that's a win.
Oh, no, it's a winning draft if that's the combination, and it's looking like he is now, and it's good.
I hope so, man.
I'm always an Auckland Orange man. The minute they drafted Tua, he was my man. I was out there screaming on the streets, Tua, Tua.
Tua, me too. Like, it was funny because we all kind of, like, tanked for Tua. We all knew what we were going to do, so when that 5th pick came up, I mean, I was nervous as a whore in church on Sunday right there. I was like, oh no, dude, what's going to happen? They're going to do the Dolphin thing and like trade the pick away or do something stupid. And when that name came up, dude, I jumped down. I was like, yeah, we got our guy. Yeah, so I was pretty excited about it.
No, I was too. It was, it was a good moment and I was happy. And it's just like, I think we're moving forward. Took a little longer than we all wanted, but everyone comes in at a different point. and Tua came into an awful predicament. I'm not going to knock the previous coaching, but between the previous coaching, so that's a little knock on him without naming names, and lack of weapons and protection. He had nothing really to work with. And, of course, a veteran like Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to outplay him because he knows everything.
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick's a
veteran.
Very smart, very, he's been there, seen it, done it. He knows how to see a defense. The guy's a Harvard grad. So, of course, if you compare them, he's going to outplay Tua on the field.
Oh, absolutely.
But when he does that, then it makes everyone, oh, my God, Tua's a bust, because Fitzpatrick's in there and we're moving the ball. But, that's why I say give it time. He's a rookie. And,
look at the first 2 years of Patrick Mahomes. It's not like he just jumped in there and started winning Super Bowls. It took him like 2 years in the same offense and learning Andy Reid's stuff, learning his teammates around him. It's kind of quite similar what's going on with our team right now. We're brand new offense. We all just got together this year. We're learning each other. I actually think it's starting to come together quite well.
No, it is. I like it.
The offense is gelling. We look good.
Not only are they winning, they're playing a fun brand of football. That's what my son. When I was driving my son doing Mr. Dad duty here in retirement, driving my son to school this morning, he was saying, well, at least we're finally a fun team to watch, because we were talking about last night's game not being that great of teams to watch and whatever. And we're like, because most of the time the nation, we're happy when the Dolphins are on the Dolphins are on, we're going to watch it. But fans are probably like we were last night, Pittsburgh in the coat. It's like, and that's how they probably treated the Dolphins. But now, like we said, I'm not a Kansas City fan at all, but it's fun to watch Kansas City play football, just as a football, because they're exciting. And that's how I feel like people are going to start with the Dolphins. They may not like the Dolphins, but they're going to have to admit we're fun to watch.
Oh God, yes, dude. That's an exciting football team to watch play, man. They move up and down the field.
There's not many more teams, throwing, getting 20-yard chunk plays in the Dolphins. We get more in a drive 20-yard chunk plays than we would go over weeks in the past few years. We were always one of the teams ranked with the fewest chunk yard plays are Miami Dolphins. Now we're way up there in the top.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's so much fun to watch. I'm enjoying the ride. And like I said, yes, it's going to get bumpy the next three, especially. It's a tough road. The road is being the key word, because the next 3 games are all on the road, and there's not one easy. All of them are in their playoff picture. Every one of those teams. The Chargers are on just barely, I think, on the outside looking in, or they just cracked in with their win. But we're all going to be playing for the same thing. You all want to.
It's really crazy when you look at the tape and you look at the film. I don't think I've ever seen a more wide open underneath football field for the Dolphins. When you take Tyreek Hill and run him up one side of the football field, and you take Waddle and you run him up the other side of the football field, everything underneath that stuff opens up, and even the middle of the seam opens up. If you got guys who can catch passes underneath and do the work for you
on the game. Finally.
Oh man, Craycraft is great, dude. He's only been targeted 12 times or something like that, and he's caught 8 of them. He's a beast, man. I would keep him. Who he reminds me of? It's funny. His game eerily reminds me of Wes Welker.
I knew you were going to say that.
I think Wes Welker sees his, and he's like, oh, wow, that reminds me of me. And, you could use that dude in the middle of the football field the way I just described it, underneath, and he would eat for you, because after he gets the ball in his hands, he actually can provide you some quite adequate yak yards. So I like Craycraft.
Yeah, your buddy Kevin's in the house.
What are you, Mina Crimes all of a sudden? Why am I Mina Crimes? I'm not talking shit about Tua.
We're complimenting him.
That was almost an interception.
Yeah, exactly, almost. Oh man, but yeah, it's like I say, he's been such a joy to watch. So we're gonna.
Oh, dude, he's been great.
It's been awesome. Like I say, it's a tough next 3 games, and I'm looking forward to them. And there's not one game I look at and say we can't win, but I also look at them saying they're going to be tough to win. So that's the big difference this year, because past few years you would have been like, oh my God, okay, Buffalo's a loss for sure. Now you actually have that faith, oh man, we can go into Buffalo and get a W. Mm-hmm. So, it's just, like I say, it's going to be tough, but it's tough for every team. This is when, this is when the real teams show up at the end of the year.
That's right.
December starts separating pretenders from the contenders.
That's right. This next week is going to be what I call moving week in the NFL. like you just said right there, it's going to what separates the real teams that are contenders from the pretenders. So if you can get this done this next week, and you'll really do a lot for yourself going forward.
Oh, I know you can. I mean,
like out of all those games we got up forward, all the rest of our games ain't not one of them. Some like, oh well, we got this, and anybody who thinks that, you're out of your freaking mind.
Yeah.
Like any given Sunday, it could happen, and the Dolphins got to come ready to play each and every game. And not only that, but they need to step up their game for these next couple games. We need to be ready to roll. This is it. This is it. You just said it, man. Like if you want to win versus the 49ers, you got to ask yourself this. What sacrifices are you willing to make? Because you're going to have to empty the tank on some of these teams in order to win.
Yeah.
And I mean, like to the 49ers, we're going to have to empty the tank. To beat the Bills in Buffalo, we're going to have to empty the tank.
For sure.
So
even the Chargers is going to be tough because, it's
tough.
The good thing about the Chargers game is they don't have the raucous crowd that we're going to have to worry about. There'll probably be a lot of Dolphin fans in the house. So
it's funny, but the Chargers right now, to me, man, like when I watch them play, they're lucky to win games. Like their point differential from what they allow to what they actually score is terrible, man. Like and those are the teams right there that really you make one mistake, you could capitalize on them and they turn into multiple mistakes.
That reminds me of Adam Gase's first year. We won all those very, very close games and. But when we got to the playoffs, we got exposed, unfortunately, So it's just like you said. But this year, we're actually beating teams and good teams, bad teams. I don't care.
Yeah.
People say, oh, you're lucky to beat the Ravens. It's not lucky. Most teams would have given up and, tucked their heads and walked away.
Did you happen to watch the Mike McDaniel's press conference from the game this last weekend for the Texans?
Yeah.
Did you see what he said, how he talked about how that was a tale of two halves and,
right.
You know what? We're going to get better. We can't allow that to happen in second halves. And I know you guys know we got to get better because that shit's unacceptable.
Right.
And then that kind of shit right there is like that's a serious message to your football team.
No, he said it right there to them in the locker room and everything. So it was perfect.
Dude, that's big. That's a message to your team of this. This is the message that I got out of all of that is don't get complacent. Don't be complacent. Don't play down to your opponent. When I call something, go out there and execute it.
Yeah, because the best teams over the past few years, they don't care. Like Kansas City, when they've been dominated, if they're beating you by 28, they want to be beating you by 35.
By 50. Yeah, and that's what I want to do, dude. That's what when we get into these games, like we're getting ready to play this weekend.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't want to. There's no friends out there, bro. I want blood. I'm coming for blood. I'm coming for you on every damn play. If you got a third string cornerback over there, I'm throwing over there every snap.
Yeah.
I'm coming for your throat on every snap.
I know some of the 49ers are trash talking Moser, but Moser didn't even say anything bad. I know.
Bring it. We're here for that smoke. And honestly, that's good chalkboard material. You put that stuff up there and you're like, look at what these people are saying about you. Next thing you know, give this dude the ball, watch him go out there and start smoking on that defense.
Because all Mozart did was compliment his current quarterback. Like he never said Jimmy G sucked or whatever. He goes, oh, it's great to play with a quarterback that can sling it. So everyone took it that he was taking a shot at Jimmy G.
Oh,
He was just complimenting. I know. So, he goes, oh, it's great to finally play with a quarterback that can sling it or whatever, and it's just silly stuff. But, but like you say, it's all, all locker room.
It's all chalkboard material right there. Like I'm hope will Mostert be ready for San Fran? You know what? That's a great question. I think, yes, I think he will be ready to go. I think he's going to play. I think it's going to add a dimension to our offense that we've been missing, and we definitely missed it last week. And it's that 1-2 punch, that speed combo back, which we got Wilson, and then we run a lot of speed out there. We got Mostert. He can break it on any given play. So
I know. He did have the one kind of long one against Cleveland, but I'm waiting for that 70-yard where he just takes
it could happen.
I know it's coming. I keep on saying that. I just want to do that. It would be great if it's against his former team of all people. If he gets
that'd be awesome.
70 yards down the field. Because once he's done, if you get behind him, you might as well just sit down and say, okay, that's it. Because you're not catching him.
So, do you know what? I forgot something. Like, this is probably the last snidbit from the Texans game that I hope you gave him a helmet sticker too, because he deserves it. Is I want to give the flower to the general, Verone McKinley III, who actually went out there in the last game and snatched up his first career interception. Good job,
yes.
young man.
I actually gave
keep
him
it
a
coming.
helmet sticker.
Keep playing out there.
I gave him
Hell
a
yeah,
helmet
dude. He
sticker
deserved
for
it.
that interception. That basically closed out any hope for a miracle comeback. Not that they were going to do it, but that ended any hope that they had for getting the game closer. So that was great. It's great to see. I mean, the Dolphins have hit on some undrafted free agents, that's for sure.
Right.
So, like, I mean, where would we be without Cater Kohu this year? We'd be screwed.
Oh, I know. We'd be screwed. Hey, did you see he almost got his first career interception last game? Man,
I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he didn't get it. I
threw his hands.
I think he doesn't know how he didn't get it.
He was like, oh.
I know, because it's like, I thought he had it. And then it's just like somehow, I mean, it was still like a 4-yard loss on the play because we had like 10 guys tackling the other. But I'm like, how didn't he get that? It was great.
I know.
But he's been so great. I mean, really, I don't know if he's that big of a drop off from how Jones has been playing anyway. You know, I mean, of course, you want Jones back because the more healthy bodies that can play the position at a high level, the better.
Right.
But, I mean, this kid's playing well, you know.
Oh, he is. How excited would it be, and how excited would you be, Rob, if we are done with the show, you wrap up, you go get your lunch, you know, you're starting to do your normal routine, and all of a sudden the Dolphins come out with this news that Byron Jones has been reinstated and coming back off the.
That'd be pretty cool. This week.
I know.
One of these days, but you know he blew.
It probably won't
Daniel shot that down again yesterday because they said, "I hate to ask again, but we seem like we have to ask you every week. What about Jones?" And he is saying, "No, he's not ready to practice yet." So I don't know. I'm counting him out because I had always circled the bye week. Like if he's not ready by the bye week or the week after the bye week, then he's not coming back. So
we talked about that.
I'd be pleasantly surprised if he comes back. I'm not counting on it at this point.
Yeah.
So
me neither.
And it just stinks. And I don't hold it against him because if he's hurt, he knows he's hurt. You know, I'm not going to say, oh, he's faking it because he doesn't want to play. I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's really hurt and it's taking him a longer time to heal from the Achilles than other people. It just, you know, it is what it is. So we're playing well enough to where, you know, that's what I said. That's all we need is someone to do on the left tackle. Just play like someone that steps up and plays well enough. I mean, it's going to be an all-pro level. No. But
just be serviceable. Just be serviceable.
Serviceable. And we don't even have that on the left side. That's what drives me crazy. We don't have anyone that's been serviceable. So,
you know,
it is, you know, we're almost, like you said, we're almost here. So if there's any closing thoughts you want.
Yep. Yeah, we're running up on that hour right now, getting ready to wrap things up here. Thank you for tuning in live with Dolphins Daily with Thirsty and Diggin'. We appreciate you guys. Much love, much love. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We're growing over here small, but we will be consistent and giving you content daily. Yeah, man, I actually do have some closing thoughts. I'm one of those like
Oh no, my partner in crime just went out with me. He get him back in here when he comes back. Right when he was going to tell us what he was going to say. Oh, here he comes already. I don't know what happened.
Damn it, right as I was starting to give my closing thought, I lose it.
All right, go ahead. Give us your closing thoughts again.
Like I was saying, I'm one of those Dolphins romanticizers who's always kind of like going to bed dreaming of like, you know, what's going to happen in the future and everything. We always lose him at the end. I know that damn internet connection he has. It's snowing over here today in Colorado, so it's probably got a little bit to do with it.
Yeah.
But, you know, as a Dolphins fan, we've seen us go down these stretches of games to try to get us into the playoffs and go to the next show, which is the playoffs. And we always seem to like see us fail at the end or do something. And we're like, oh, that's so Dolphins. I think the team itself is having gatherings at Tua's place and meetings and getting together because they're a close family. 1, 2, 3 family. You know, and their family, and they're talking about the same thing, how they want to be tough down this stretch of games and how the fans deserve it, how they deserve it, how the city of Miami deserves it. And I'm hoping in my heart of hearts that we see a exuberated bunch here that comes out very hungry, very motivated to close out teams, go out there and just put it on them. I mean, oh, we're up by 17. Nah, man, we come back out there and put up another 20. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Kevin. Great show. Fins up, guys. Thank you so much, Kevin. We love you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'll see you this weekend.
But anyway, yeah, so it's, I agree with you. It's just different. And I admit my old fart Dolphin ways, I keep on waiting for that other shoe, as the saying. I keep on waiting for that other shoe to drop. But I finally just started a few weeks ago. I said, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this ride instead of worrying about, eventually we're going to start losing and something's going to break my heart again as a Dolphin fan. And I'm just enjoying the ride because they're fun to watch.
Yes.
They're just, it's just like you say, we use this word 1,000 times today, but they're just fun. They're an enjoyable bunch to watch.
They are
football, because they just have an exciting brand. Just the way watching Tyreek Hill is just amazing.
It's so fun.
Because you watch him for the other team and you're like, oh, whatever, because he's on another team. Oh, I wish we had this, or you don't really appreciate it. In that one play where he ran, where he caught it and he ran. I'm like, oh my God, he's so fast,
fast, bro.
And he doesn't even look like he's going fast, but he just runs away. It's just so crazy. It's like, it's just like, it doesn't even look. It almost looks like he's jogging it so easy for him.
I know he makes it look really easy out there. Even when he was a Chief, I remember like watching Kansas City games, being like, damn, I wish we had that on our team. Damn, I wish we had that on our team. So now that we have it, it's so great.
I would love to see Mark Duper Prime and Tyreek Hill Prime run together.
That'd be awesome.
I know those guys could move it, man. They could both move it. I mean, Waddle's fast too, but I mean, Tyreek is just extra freaky fast.
He's freaky fast.
Back in the day, Duper would just be. He reminds me of Duper sometimes because Duper would just be that guy that just, he could be right there or somebody, and then it's just like, choosh. It's like he's gone. It's like forget about it.
Yeah, the guy who is. He is. Another guy who reminded me like an old school Tyreek Hill would be Ernest Givens, man. I think Ernest Givens' game was kind of like Tyreek Hill's a lot. He was real speedy, quick, could take distance on you real fast. But Rob, I think you hit on such a good point there for your closing about I was waiting for the other shoe to drop off, but I think I'm just going to put that bias aside and enjoy this because it's so fun to watch these guys play. I think all Dolphins fans worldwide should adapt what you're saying right there. Even me, I came off of it like, I think the wheels are going to fall off. And now I'm like, you know what? Let's just throw that aside and let's have some fun.
No, I know. That's it. You can because you're always waiting for the other shoe. It's just finally this year because they've burned me so many times. Like
but we don't got nothing to – we don't have anything to lose by going all in and being like, let's have some fun.
You might as well enjoy it now because if the shoe is going to drop eventually,
who cares?
What's the point? You didn't worry about it.
Yeah, it's happened. It's happened for the last 35 years. So what's another one? So you might as well go ahead and enjoy this football season while we have it.
Yeah, might as well enjoy the winning while we're doing the winning. And it's like I said, I just would love one playoff win, not asking for too much. And then once you get one, then of course I'm going to be greedy and want another and win the Super Bowl and whatever.
Absolutely, dude.
But right now it's just fun. I'm going to take it. I'm not going to worry about, here it comes,
Don't worry about that. None of you Dolphins fans out there should be worrying about that. Just enjoy it. Don't be miserable. Be happy. We're doing something we haven't done in a long time. Enjoy the ride as long as it lasts.
Yeah, no, I know. We're actually getting national attention from
it's
positive
great
stuff. Because the only reason we ever got national attention in the past few years is
for negative.
Billy Gate or coach doing cocaine or, it's like, some stupid ass story that is the only reason, our owner tampering or whatever. The only reason we would get national news, Tankgate and all this stuff.
You're right, bro.
It's so good to actually be in the news for like winning football, an exciting brand of football.
It is. It's refreshing.
Maybe the Dolphins are going to get flexed in some of their games at the end of the season because they're playing such good football. We would be flexed out and let's get that game.
Let's get that game out of here.
So now we're actually talking about some of our games may get flexed to prime time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love the 1 p.m. games, but for the brand, it's good to be for the Dolphins brand. Not our brand the same, but for the Dolphins brand, it's great for them to be on prime time because it means you're winning and it means
absolutely. How I could definitely tell it's a different football season is because usually about this time I'm already on the ice. I'm already fishing out there, jigging for fish. And I'm like, you know what? I don't got no football season left. But guess who it is this year that's doing that? It's all my Bronco friends. All my friends that are Broncos fans are like, oh, man, you guys got
another episode. You and Colorado can talk about all that. Because it's time for us to wrap up. And it's my lunchtime almost.
Yeah, man, we gotta wrap it.
Yeah, we got to wrap it. So anyway, guys, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Fins up, comment every time you come in, and we follow back on Twitter. We do everything, man. We just want to grow here and talk Dolphins, Dolphins
That's right.
Unite, as I like to say. it's never too late to hop on the bandwagon. I think you
right.
guys in here are definitely diehard Dolphin fans.
Diehard.
Yeah. So fins up to all of you. It's been another fun show. Justin, thank you. I'll see you same time tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And we're looking good here. All right, I'm gonna close us out. All right. Fins up. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. Thank you.
He who laughs last, laughs best.
Yes. Fins up.
Fins up, man.